The life and legacy of Saddam Hussein. Few leaders in modern history have left as controversial and tumultuous a legacy as Saddam Hussein. Revered by some as a protector of Iraqi sovereignty and reviled by others as a ruthless dictator, Saddam's life was one marked by ambition, power, and conflict. Join us as we delve into the story of Saddam Hussein, from his humble beginnings in a rural Iraqi village to his rise as one of the world's most infamous leaders. Saddam Hussein was born on April 28, 1937, in the small village of Al-Auja near Tikrit, Iraq. His father died before he was born, and his early life was marked by hardship and instability. Saddam grew up under the care of his uncle, Khairallah Talfa, a fervent Arab nationalist who would greatly influence his ideological leanings. In his teenage years, Saddam moved to Baghdad to pursue an education. It was during this period that he joined the Arab Ba'ath Socialist Party, a political organization advocating for Arab unity, socialism, and independence from Western influence. In 1959, Saddam participated in an attempted assassination of then Iraqi Prime Minister Abd al-Karim Qasim, a mission backed by the Ba'ath Party. The plot failed, and Saddam was forced to flee to Syria and later Egypt, where he continued his education and political networking. By the mid-1960s, Saddam returned to Iraq and became a key figure in the Ba'ath Party's efforts to seize power. In 1968, the party successfully staged a coup d'etat, bringing Ahmed Hassan al-Bakr to power as president. Saddam, serving as his deputy, began consolidating power behind the scenes. In 1979, Saddam Hussein assumed the presidency, succeeding Ahmed Hassan al-Bakr. Almost immediately, he launched a ruthless purge of the Ba'ath Party, eliminating anyone he perceived as a threat to his rule. This marked the beginning of Saddam's iron-fisted control over Iraq. Under his rule, Saddam implemented significant modernization programs, including investments in infrastructure, healthcare, and education. Iraq became one of the most developed countries in the Arab world during the 1970s and early 1980s. However, these achievements came at a cost. Dissent was crushed, and a pervasive climate of fear enveloped the country. In 1980, Saddam launched a war against neighboring Iran, citing border disputes and fears of Shia influence following the Iranian Revolution. The conflict, which lasted 8 years, resulted in hundreds of thousands of casualties on both sides. The war saw widespread use of chemical weapons by Iraq, including against its own Kurdish population in Halabja. Despite these atrocities, Saddam was supported by several Western and Arab nations during the conflict, highlighting the geopolitical complexities of the era. In 1990, Saddam made the fateful decision to invade Kuwait, claiming it was historically part of Iraq and accusing it of economic aggression. This act was met with international condemnation, and a US-led coalition launched Operation Desert Storm in early 1991, forcing Iraq's withdrawal. The Gulf War left Iraq's infrastructure devastated and its economy crippled. Following the war, Saddam's government faced uprisings from both Shia Muslims in the south and Kurds in the north, which were brutally suppressed. The country remained under strict United Nations sanctions throughout the 1990s, exacerbating the suffering of ordinary Iraqis. Throughout the 1990s, Iraq endured severe economic hardships due to international sanctions. While ordinary citizens struggled to survive, Saddam maintained his opulent lifestyle and continued building extravagant palaces. To maintain control, Saddam relied on a cult of personality. His image was omnipresent in Iraq, and his regime used propaganda, fear, and violence to suppress opposition. In 2003, the United States and its allies launched an invasion of Iraq, citing Saddam's alleged possession of weapons of mass destruction and links to terrorism. While these claims were later discredited, the invasion led to the swift collapse of Saddam's regime. After months on the run, Saddam was captured by US forces in December 2003, hiding in a small underground bunker near his hometown of Tikrit. Saddam was tried by an Iraqi tribunal for crimes against humanity, including the massacre of over 140 Shia villages in Dujail, following a 1982 assassination attempt against him. The trial, criticized by some for its procedural flaws, resulted in a death sentence. On December 30th, 2006, Saddam Hussein was executed by hanging. His death marked the end of an era, but the divisions and instability that characterized his rule continued to haunt Iraq. Saddam Hussein's legacy remains deeply polarizing. To some, he was a symbol of defiance against Western imperialism. To others, he was a tyrant whose actions brought immense suffering to Iraq and the region. His rule serves as a stark reminder of the complexities of power, governance, and the far-reaching consequences of dictatorship. The story of Saddam Hussein is not just the story of one man, but of a nation's struggles, aspirations, and tragedies. As Iraq continues to rebuild and redefine itself, the lessons of its past remain as relevant as ever. Thank you for watching.